and welcome to the online teaching and learning process of English. Today I am going to teach you the poem A Tiger in the Zoo written by Leslie Norris. So let us know about the introduction first. The poem explains the agony and helplessness. Agony means pain and helplessness of a caged tiger that lives in a zoo. The poet explains what his life could be if he had been a free animal. The poet has also tried to explain about the condition of animals that are caged by human beings for their own fun. So basically the poem is explaining about the two facts. First, when the tiger is in a zoo, and what if the tiger would be free. So two aspects of the tiger's life has been given in this poem. So I hope the aims of the poem would be clear to you, that we are basically getting to know about the tiger's position in the zoo as well as when he would be free. Now let us read stanza 1 of the poem. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet and his quiet rage. So he is written here. Therefore, when we discuss about the poetic devices, the first poetic device that comes here is personification. That is the use of word he for the tiger. In his vivid stripes. Stalks in his vivid stripes. Stalks here means to follow or to walk. Vivid means clear or bright colored. Stripes means the stripes on the skin of the tiger. The few steps of his cage, that means the tiger is walking in his clear stripes, that means his skin or body is clear. He's walking or taking a few steps when he is inside his cage. On pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. On pads means paws of the tiger. They are being compared to the velvet ones. So quietly he is walking on his paws in his quiet rage, that means in his quiet anger. He is angry but still he is quiet. So next poetic device used here is metaphor, that is pads of velvet are being used for paws. Moreover, enjambment is the poetic device used. Why? Because as you can see in the very first line it is written, he stalks in his vivid stripes. After the word stripes there is no punctuation mark and the line is getting continued to the next one. Right? And here are the word meanings of the stanza. Stalks means to follow, vivid means bright, pads means pause, and rage means anger. Talking about the rhyme scheme of the poem, we may notice that in the very first line we use A, then it's B, then it's C and again B, because cage and rage are in rhyme. So basically the rhyme scheme of the stanza is A, B, C, B. I hope you may now give answers to the question for stanza 1, like in which manner the tiger is walking and what is he doing in his cage. Now let's discuss stanza 2 of the poem. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole where plump deer pass. So he should be, that means the tiger should be lurking. Lurking is the word here which means hiding. So he's hiding in shadow, sliding through long grass. Sliding means moving through long grass near the water hole, maybe a pond, near a pond where plump deer pass. Plump means a healthy deer, right? So the meaning of the stanza is that the tiger, instead of living in the cage, should be there free in the forest, and he should be hiding himself in the shadow, hiding or sliding through the long grass near the pond to wait for his prey or a deer to pass. So the poetic devices used here are, first is alliteration, plump and pass. As you can notice, P is being repeated here. Then imagery. Image of tiger's activities, that is lurking, that means he is hiding. So we can imagine it, we can make an image of it that the tiger is hiding in the long grass. And again, when we come to the rhyme scheme here, the rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B, as grass and pass are in a rhyme. So the questions that may come from stanza 2 may be that where and how is the tiger hiding and what is he waiting for? Let's read stanza 3 now. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. So he, that means the tiger, should be snarling. Snarling is the word which means giving a warning through roaring, as the tiger roars. So he should be roaring or making the houses around the jungle or the forest edge aware that he's coming. Bearing his white fangs, his claws. Bearing means showing. Fangs means sharp tooth of animals, white sharp tooth of animals. And his claws, that means he should be showing off his sharp white tooth and his claws, and he must be terrorizing the village, as is the nature of the tiger, rather than be there in the cage. So this is the complete imagery that the poet is making of the tiger, that where should the tiger be and what should he be doing. So basically the poetic device used here is onomatopoeia, that is the sound of snarling, that is roaring, right? And talking about the rhyme scheme again, the rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B. Edge and village are in rhyme. The questions for stanza 3 that you may have to answer are that what should the tiger be doing at the jungle's edge and how should he be terrorizing the village. Stanza 4. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. So what is the tiger doing here and where is the tiger actually is? He is in the zoo, locked in a concrete cell. Concrete means made of bricks and cement. So the cage that is there is made up of cement and bricks and he is locked there. His strength behind bars. That means his power is behind the bars, is behind the cage. Stalking the length of his cage, that means he is measuring the length of his cage. That means he is just walking here and there just in the cage. Ignoring visitors. Visitors who have come to see him in the zoo, he is ignoring them. Right? So again the rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B because bars and visitors are in a rhyme, and the poetic device that is uses alliteration in the words behind bars because B is a sound which is being repeated. Now the questions for stanza 4 are that where the tiger actually is and how is that fact impacting the tiger and how is he behaving. Stanza 5, the last stanza of the poem is, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So what is the tiger doing now? The tiger is locked in the concrete cell or in the cage and he is just listening or hearing to the last voice at night, that is of the patrolling cars. Patrolling means the guarding cars in which police comes and they patrol around. So he is just waking up till late night and listening to the sound of those patrolling cars, and then he is staring with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. The word brilliant is being repeated. Repetition is a poetic device as well as alliteration is a poetic device used here. In he and here's H is repeating. Right? So again, the rhyme scheme of the last stanza as well is A, B, C, B. Cars and stars are in a rhyme, right? The questions that may come from stanza 5 are that what is the position of the tiger? Why is he waking up till late night and what is he doing? So I hope the poem is very much clear to you and you may answer all the questions along with the rhyme scheme as well as the poetic devices. Thank you.